Argylle is the newest film from Matthew Vaughn, and going into it, I had high expectations, but after watching it, I was highly disappointed. So let's talk about Argylle. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be talking about Argylle. So my initial thoughts on Argylle was that I did not like this film. For me, I thought this movie started off okay, and once this movie gets into its third act, I thought this movie hit the self-destruction button, and I hated almost every second of it. When I was watching this movie, I was questioning my existence and begged for it to be over. Here's the things that I enjoyed in Argylle. There's only one thing that I enjoyed because for the most part I disliked this movie. So the main thing and the star of the show for me personally will be the cat. So there's a cat that is in this film. It's on pretty much every single poster, and it's a animal that Bryce Dallas Howard's character brings with her throughout her journey. Even though most of the cool stuff that happens with this cat is in the trailer, and the cat throughout the whole movie is CGI, I didn't really care because I'm a cat person and I like cats, and he was cool throughout the whole movie. So kudos to the cat, you're awesome. Now it's time for me to talk about the things that I disliked. So the first thing that I disliked was the way that the story was structured. Now in each act, I enjoyed the first two, but as soon as this movie dived into the third act, that's when it totally lost me and I hated everything about it. There's a twist that happens at the end of the second act leading into the third act, and I think this completely ruins the movie, and that decision presses the self-destruction button for Argylle. There's a decision that is made with Bryce Dallas Howard's character, and for me, I could not get behind it, and there's multiple sequences in the third act that are not only laughably stupid, but are cringe as heck, and I just could not stand what I was seeing. This is a movie that had an okay start and had a horrendous finish. Another issue I had with Argylle would be its action sequences. So going into it, I knew that this movie was going to be an action slash spy espionage film, so I was excited to see how Matthew Vaughn would handle the action sequences in this movie. I really enjoyed his action sequences in his previous films, so I hoped that Argylle would have a lot of good ones. There are some good ones and there are some really bad ones. There's a train sequence in the beginning of the film that I thought was okay. I didn't really like the editing though, but once this movie dives into the third act, I think this is the worst action Matthew Vaughn has ever created. You have multiple sequences that are just jaw-dropping idiotic that make absolutely no sense, and for me, I was questioning what I was doing in the theater, why I was even watching it, and I was considering getting up and leaving. The choreography for most of this stuff is very slow, it's just too stale, and it just doesn't give you the oomph that his other films have. So I was highly disappointed in how Matthew Vaughn took the action, and I really wish it was better. The last thing that I wanted to mention about Argylle is more of a disappointment than a dislike. So for me, when I watched the first trailer, which is a trailer that I thought was really good, the idea definitely interested me to go see the film. After watching the film is absolutely nothing like the trailer. For me, I was disappointed because the action and impact the trailer had just couldn't find its way into the movie. With a movie that is made by Matthew Vaughn, I could not feel as if he made it, and for me personally, the idea of having Bryce Dallas Howard's character be an author and the book that she created actually is happening in real life with this whole spy espionage story is definitely something that I found to be interesting. Yet the entire film, it just feels stale and it just doesn't give me what I expected it to give me. Also, there's a lot of actors that I thought were going to be prominent in this film, like Henry Cavill and John Cena, and unfortunately, they're really not in this movie. So everything that the trailer offered, I thought this movie was going to be an absolute blast and a huge success. However, it just simply feels like a slow dud. As a big fan of Matthew Vaughn, I was highly disappointed in Argylle. The concept is there, but the execution falls to the floor big time. I thought the structure of the story was fine until this movie gets into the third act. As soon as this movie dives into the third act, I truly think the movie hits its own self-destruction button, and after that, it's just a complete disaster. This film has very poor action sequences. Coming from a director like Matthew Vaughn, I expected the action sequences to be through the roof, but they feel stale, slow, and not memorable, and there's a lot of action sequences that happen in the third act that I just found to be truly despicable. But Argylle is a film that I just could not get around to liking, and I disliked heavily. So I'm going to give Argylle a thumbs down. Here's my recommendation for Argylle. Overall, my recommendation is that I don't recommend this movie. This is a very stale and boring spy espionage thriller that has bad action sequences and a horrendous third act. But if you enjoy Matthew Vaughn's film and you're gonna see it anyways, I highly recommend that you wait for it to be available on streaming, or if you can find other alternative ways to watch it, because I don't think watching this movie in the theaters is the way to go. There you have it. That's my review for Argylle. If you've seen the film, let me know your opinions down below in the comments. If you haven't seen it, let me know what your favorite Matthew Vaughn film is. For me personally, mine's the first Kick-Ass. That is an awesome movie, but that'll do it for me today. If you like this video, make sure you click that like button and consider watching another video on my channel. And if you like the stuff that I do here, make sure you're subscribed. That way I can see you next time. Till then, be yourself, and I will see you next time. Peace.